I'm going to do a short video here on how I put together some of my structures inside the tank. For those of you who perhaps haven't experimented making your own things. As you can see here in this corner, got a pot. It's full of gravel. There's live plants growing out of it. And there's another one right over here. And wrapped around the pot is a plastic mesh, 1/4 inch in diameter across the width of the actual opening. And I use electrical ties. You can see right there where they have been tied together. And the reason I have the mesh is so that the turtles have a place to grip so they can easily climb up. It's especially useful during mating when the male-female combination gets a little heavy and they're swimming a little cumbersome. They can climb up for air. Shallow water platforms. Here you can see the white PVC. I try to camouflage it a little bit with some plastic plants secured with electrical ties, but just plain old 1/2 inch PVC. And above the actual shallow water platform itself is just a 1 inch high sandbox made out of acrylic, the size according to what you need. Again, I have plastic mesh going all the way around, secured with electrical ties to also provide a place to grip. And inside the sandbox is sand. I have 2 acrylic logs on top. The turtles often bask on top or crawl up on there. There's a piece of mopani wood dropped between the 2 logs to provide a more flat surface. Over here you can see the basking platform. You see Fern up here basking, getting a little sun. It's also a fairly deep, almost 4 inches deep sandbox for laying eggs. The egg laying usually occurs in the back where it's shaded behind those plastic plants. You see some live plants right there. See a ramp. This ramp is made out of acrylic with plastic mesh again over it for grip. I drill holes in the acrylic and secure the plastic mesh with electrical ties. Over here you can see more ramps. These ramps are made out of egg crate, and I have plastic mesh secured with electrical ties on top of the egg crate. The egg crate, the turtle's legs would fall through the rather large holes in the egg crate, so you need the mesh. Provides a very lightweight, easy to use ramp as long as there is a place for it to rest on each end. If you need to secure the ramp on one end, you'll probably want to go with plastic or acrylic like this. The acrylic is actually curved and it slips right into the edge there, right in here. It just goes down about 2 inches into the sand, and that secures it, holds itself out just fine. Okay, here's some other ideas using pots, clay pots. You can see there's a pot underneath. It's upside down. I've created a mouse hole here using I use a Dremel tool. It's pretty crude, not very clean. Some of you out there who may be handier with tools and have better tools can probably make a really nice looking mouse hole. You want to be sure it's big enough so that any size turtle that you have can get in. And even a better idea if your turtles mate so that 2 turtles, one on top of the other, can get in and out of the pot so that you don't have a jam there. Now what I have done is I've simply taken a tray, place it on top, put another pot here, fill the tray with sand, and you have a underwater cave, and a cave up here that could be partially out of the water. And this could be a shallow water area, so the water might only come up to here, just a couple, maybe an inch or 2 off the above the, or even 3 inches above the tray, the clay tray, and you've got a underwater cave and a above water, partially above water cave with a shallow water area. Very easy, and once it's filled with sand, it's quite secure. Here you see one of my pots. It's not complete because I only put mesh on the upper rim of the pot, and you can see the electrical ties right there. Okay, I'm going to show you how I work with PVC. Many of you are probably familiar with PVC, but some of you probably aren't, so I'll just give you a quick display of how I put together some of my scaffolding. Here's an example of one completed. You can see it's got a surface here to place something on, like a shallow water platform or a basking platform. You've got elbow joints here, in this case 3-way elbow joints. You hook legs on these and you can put, say, a basking platform. This is a deeper that would hold sand for basking and for laying eggs. You can put something shallow like this as a shallow water platform. The water might come out to about here. You can put a log on here for the turtles they like to hide. And there you go, very easy. Now let me show you how I make this. If you're not familiar with PVC, you can buy this at any hardware store. I prefer 1/2 inch PVC. There's no reason to use anything bigger than that. Works very well. Cutting it to size is not too hard. You get one of these special cutters from the hardware store, and you just like so. And now score it just a little bit, and then push down. Oop, there she went. And there's a piece just the way I want it. Now putting it together, very easy. You get little joints like this. There's all kinds of joints you can get for all kinds of varieties of ways of making things. It's really a lot of fun to play with. It's like an erector set. And you just take one of your joints here, and you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, and now you see you've got a corner right there. You can go on and build just about anything you like. Very useful for building scaffolding in your tank, like this. The green stuff is just plastic plants I use to try to camouflage the PVC a little bit so it doesn't look like plumbing in your tank. Okay, I want to just wrap up the discussion on the ramps. Here again you see the front ramp. It's hanging on the basking egg-laying platform in the tank. Looking down underneath, you can see it's just sitting open in the water on the bottom here, and then if you look underneath you'll see the PVC scaffolding that it's sitting on. Here's one I'm holding in my hand that's similar. You can see how it's made. It's just a simple piece of acrylic. It's bent. The short piece here is about 2 inches, and it just goes into the sand right on the edge there, and that secures it. Just the weight of the sand is enough to hold that ramp secure. If you look real close right up here at the top part of the ramp, you'll see some holes that I've drilled in there. Those are important because when the turtles go up and down the ramp, they'll drag sand onto the ramp. The sand will cause water to siphon up into the sand, and the sand will get sopping wet. So these holes prevent that from happening by allowing drainage. Now on the ramps that are made out of egg crate and mesh, you can see going down the side here, they're made a little differently. Let me show you the one I have in my hand. Here you can see there's egg crate and mesh on top of the egg crate, and they are the mesh is secured with electrical ties. You can buy that at any electrical hardware store. The end that goes in the sandbox up here, that end is here, and I have 2 door pins, and they just slip into the sand and it secures it on that end. This end just sits freely on the shallow water platform, which you see right there. It's probably a good idea to weight it down. You can use maybe a small sliver of rock or anything that you can use an electrical tie to secure that with, so it's less likely to get moved around by the turtles. But basically it just sits freely on the shallow water area. For those of you who don't know what electrical ties are, that's an electrical tie. You just slip the one end into the little nub there. There's a little hole, goes in there, and you can secure anything very tightly with these. They're great. Okay, one last little thing I'm going to show you because this sometimes takes a little while to figure out. When you get some of this egg crate, if you want to use it to make a ramp or some other structure in your tank, you have to cut it down to size. And the easiest way I find, and the quickest way, you use a heavy file, very heavy file. Mark where you want to cut it. Okay, I'm just going to arbitrarily cut it right here, just for the heck of it. You would mark this spot and then watch. And now I'll go down, break off the sharp nubs. Let me do that one more time this way. Right here. It's kind of rough. You'll have to do it a few times till you get the hang of it. And then just carefully go down and break off the sharp edges. Then take the rough, tough part of the file and make sure you get all the sharp little pieces all filed down so they're nice and smooth, so there's nothing to cut yourself or the turtles with. And let's say this is the piece you were trying to make. Just use your file to kind of carefully and then file it. after you knock off all the sharp little nubs. One side, the less rough side, to kind of knock off the sharp nubs that are sticking way out, and then the real tough file, kind of get rid of any sharp edges that are still left over. And there you go. It's very easy to work with, and you can make all kinds of things out of this.